Hello and welcome back. Or if it is the first time, welcome to Roll for Socktober, a mini-series in which I will be rolling a D20 to determine which of these 20 colors will make it into a pair of socks and how many rows. Last week we managed to make two whole socks, but we did not manage to use all 20 of our colors, and last week I said that we were only missing 4, 14 and 16. That was incorrect. We're missing 4, 9, 14 and 16. So 20% of our 20 colors has not yet been used. This makes it very interesting for future socks. Because yes, during the entire month of October, I shall be continuing this chaotic adventure of just making the most random stripy socks you might have ever seen. Now I have a little bit, just a little bit, of an impatient disposition. So between the release of last week's video and the filming of this in this exact moment, I might have gone ahead and started sock number 3, which started with color 12 for, I guess it was 18 rows, and then color 8 for 12. To roll the first color of this second installment of Roll for Socktober, I'm going with color 5, of which we do not have much left, but which will make this sock look very similar to this sock. Anyway, how many rolls do we have to knit? 7 rows of color 5, or until I'm out of color 5. And then we shall have to find a replacement yarn, because that's the only bit of this color that I still have. Color 5 lives to see another day, but just barely. Color 12. This, the one we started with. Yesterday, when I was editing the footage of last week's video of part 1 of this Roll for Socktober series, I noticed something a little bit remarkable. That while I said in the beginning that these socks would be ruled by the principle of utter chaos, I spent the next 25 minutes or something trying to control the chaos. And I think that is almost symbolic for our human nature, trying to have control over the chaos, trying to have control over everything. I noticed that in myself, but then I looked at Etienne's first video where he does his Flavor of Chaos socks, which is chaotic colorwork socks. And I read in the comments people suggesting, well, maybe you could sort your colors between light and dark, and then you would have better contrast and stuff. Like, people were trying to give him tips on how to control the chaos. It's just such a human experience, I think, trying to control the chaos. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be better at it in this video. Letting go, letting chaos actually rule over the socks. But because I'm going to keep my rules that I put in place last week, I'm going to keep them because I am actually a big fan of actually wearing the stuff that I make, and putting those rules in place to control the chaos in at least the slightest bit that I can, I think will ensure that I will wear them. We're going to get a little bit philosophical on main, is that I think it is just in my very human nature that I cannot let go of the control over chaos. I have an image in my mind of how the socks were supposed to look, and they don't. I'm okay with that. They don't look like I imagined them, but there are some things that I cannot let go of. I cannot let go of wanting multiple stripes, wanting smaller stripes that do not exceed the number 20. I will also not let go of 3 times the same color is enough. So while I thought it was funny and really kind of a little bit of a remarkable revelation about how I was really tightly trying to control the chaos in my socks in the previous video, I'm also kind of embracing that. I'm letting go a little bit, but I'm also embracing it. Oh, and we're doing 13 rows of color number 3 right now. Sock update! The 3rd sock brought us to the 3rd season of The Mandalorian as well. Sock knitting before the television. Peak autumn activities. I tell you, it's very reminiscent of Sock 2, don't you think? Like, let me compare the two. Maybe it is just the inclusion of color 8, 12 and 5 that makes it look like they're kind of the same, but if I would wear these together, people wouldn't even notice a difference, I think, because people don't notice the things as much. So from afar, it's a pair of socks that fit. But I am now at the heel flap, and the heel flap is the final point in which I'll allow collar number 12, because the cuff is collar number 12. The little stripe is, and then we are here at the heel flap. No more collar number 12 in the foot of this sock. It has put this curse on itself. It has been too greedy for wanting to be in the leg of this sock. Collar 8, once more. Collar 8 is seriously diminishing in size, so at first glance I just couldn't find it. This used to be quite a lot of yarn when we started. My bag was full, and now when I fill it with all the yarn, it's almost halfway. We're really getting through all my scraps. Nice. Anyway, collar 8 once more for 2 whole rows. Now, since I had an uneven number of rows for color 12, I now have to do the weaving in as I go action on the purl row, and this is taking up a lot more brain power than if it would be on the knit row. Yeah! And with this now being an even number, I will have to continue to do so for the next couple of weaving in rows. I have been spared of this for the past 2 socks, but I fear there was no escaping. So while I'm actually dead set of proving my reputation of 2 pairs of socks in 2 weeks, it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy road from here on off. Like, I don't know if it's actually going to happen, because tonight I'll have art school. So this is the only thing I will have knit today, which is a total of 5 rows, I think. And then this weekend, my husband and I are going on a little weekend trip to Guédelon and Vézelay. I hope to bring you along with me, and I hope to bring my socks along with me, but I can't promise anything. We'll be having a lot of fun in the neo-medieval and actually medieval places that we will be visiting there. No one is surprised that we're going to France, of course. So yeah, maybe I'll see you back on Monday, or maybe I'll see you back in France. The joys of living in Europe and just drive across a border, right? There is a slight change of plans, as my car decided that driving with 2 working headlights is for the weak, and I am weak. So I didn't dare to go to art school yesterday, so progress was made. That's almost an entire sock, my friends, my lords, ladies and gentlemen. And we have finally rolled collar number 4. Well, we already did roll it there, but it was only 2 rows, but now it's a visible block of collar 4, so that only leaves collar 9, 14 and 16 left unrolled. I realized that for my previous 2 socks I was spared a lot of, well, I'm going to say this nicely, bullshit. Oh my god, I had 3 collar changes in my heel turn, 2 of which were only 2 rows, and that is having to carry that much yarn, like weaving it in as I go, while also having to purl Yeah, that was utter bullshit. And you can see that I didn't do a very good job at it because there is some little bits of yarn poking through. Anyway, I hope that having to carry this much yarn underneath all my stitches means that I have a very reinforced heel now. Extra thread, extra force. I still have quite a ways to go on the yellow. I need to do 19 rows of yellow and I think I'm at 10 or something right now. So yeah, it is once again a sock with big stripes. I fear that's just going to be my destiny for the next 20 days of this month of making socks. I have almost finished 3 socks in 11 days of October. If I keep that up, I'll end up with 8 socks, at least, at minimum. Sounds like a good amount. Might be that I have to rest my hands in the second part of October. It's not that I'm feeling a repeated stress injury right now, not at all. I am knitting very casually, very calmly, but it is a lot of knitting, so I will foresee rest in the future. Also, my new set of dies has arrived. Well, I didn't need an entire set, only a D20, but I couldn't find a loose D20 in my local shop, so I do feel like these are quite a bit more legible on camera, aren't they? Bam! Full 19 rows of yellow. Let us see how much luck this new dice gives us. Number 10. Another thing I have to do, by the way, is swap my sample for 15. For 15, it's not 17, it's 15, because I ran out and I'm replacing it with this, which is technically not a sock yarn. I mean, I didn't buy it as sock yarn, but it's thin enough to be sock yarn. So So the dice tells me that I actually should knit 18 rows of color 7, but this is all that we have. We're done with color 7, but since we're not at home, I cannot replace color 7 in my books, so if I roll it again, it'll have to be a re-roll for now, because no more color 7 from here on. Bye!
En place. On va accrocher un petit peu en dessous, on va passer de ce côté là, et on va accrocher nos fibres de ce côté.
I'm about to start the heel flap on my 4th sock, and I can tell you that this has taken me exactly 2.5 hours. Now, how do I know that? Well, that's a little bit of a story. On my Patreon Discord, there is often some very healthy competition. Like during Tour de Fleece, people are calling one another their nemesis because they want to beat one another, but it is all very lovingly. One of my moderators is an incredibly fast spinner, and they may or may not have challenged me in my sock knitting, or maybe I have challenged them. It could be either case. Anyway, the sock knitting crown of my server is mine. I am the fastest and I wanted to prove it. So 2.5 hours for this much. The sock knitting crown is mine. I mean, we're October 13th. This is, well, I've made 3.5 socks in 13 days. And I actually have not been knitting much Saturday nor Sunday. The sock knitting crown shall be mine. And also just the combination of these 3 yarns is so good. Like, it's very low contrast, but almost like tonal. I like it. Yeah, this bit, so good, so good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not Mambo number 5. This is 4.5 hours of sock knitting, and I am halfway with the foot. This means that I will probably have done an entire sock in 6 hours or thereabouts, which also means that I could, in theory, knit an entire pair of socks in 12 hours. Now, while that is all hypothetical and all, how good of a clickbaity title would that be? Knitting a pair of socks in 12 hours. Anyway, what also has happened is that there are right now no more colors that have not been rolled yet. For we have color 9 over here, color 16 over here and over here, and this is color 14. That's all of the colors that there were left to roll, and they are here in my 4th sock. So it takes 4 socks to roll all 20 colors. Speaking of all 20 colors, we had already run out of and replaced color 15. Now I have also run out of color 7, as you remember, and we're so close to running out of color 8 and 5. So I have been scouring my studio to find yarns that might fit the bill, and I found these. Now, why weren't they in my selection before? Well, these two aren't wool. I think this is a cotton. There is no focus whatsoever, right? Camera, what? Okay, so I believe this is a cotton, this is acrylic. This is wool. This is pretty new. I bought this in France, but since this was such a complete skein, like it's not entirely complete, it's 95 complete skein, I was hesitant to put it with my scraps, but it seems to be the only tinier skein of sock yarn that I have left. The other ones that I have are like full 100 gram skeins. I do not want to sacrifice my full 100 gram skeins for this, so I think we're going to go with the cotton, the acrylic, and the little skein over here. Now, only color 7 has effectively run out, and I'm going to replace it with this because it was green. For these two, we will see which one runs out first and which one I will replace it with. I am aware that refilling my colors, so to speak, will in the end make it so that these socks that I make in the beginning look a lot different from the ones that I make in the end. Like, if more and more yarns get replaced with new ones, even though I don't know if I could find more yarn, but just theoretically, if we replace the yarns, and in the end we have different socks, of course. But also I want to keep rolling the D20, so I will have to have 20 colors. It's the lesser of two evils, right? So there we go. Here is a new color 7 in town. Asking for a friend, what is actually the current world record of fastest time for knitting a sock? I know the fastest knitting per minute is 118 stitches, and I'm not even going to count, but I'm clearly not there, so probably the person who can knit 118 stitches per minute can knit a whole sock in an hour or something. And there we go. That is a sock in under 6 hours. This is 5 hours and 3/4 of an hour to be exact. Yeah. By the end, this wasn't about being a little bit competitive with my moderator anymore. I was just so focused on wanting to know how fast I can knit a sock. Like, this is now my PR, my personal record, my personal best. I must refrain myself from the rest of October of trying to beat my own PR. I shall not do this. You remind me of this, that I shall not try and beat my PR, because that would be unhealthy behavior. We're not doing it this month. No. But I am, of course, a little bit proud of myself that I am able to knit an entire sock, and it's not an ankle sock, as you can see, in less than 6 hours. I feel like that's kind of an accomplishment. Like, I can introduce myself now to people like, hi, my name is Jente, and I can knit a sock in less than 6 hours. Only a small percentage of people would be impressed, but the percentage of people that would be impressed are my people, of course. Also, I like this sock. This is such a cool looking sock. Don't tell my dice, because then it will only throw that number. But I even like the inclusion of the black of color 16. Like, it's a very mysterious looking sock. Magical almost, with all the purples. This is also more how I had envisioned the colors of my sock to look like in the beginning. As I said, this was not how I imagined my sock to look like. This is more like it. Like, it has the greens and the purples that are so prevalent in my yarn collection. Here we go. I have proven once more that I can knit 2 pairs of socks in 2 weeks. Very excited for that. Normally, I would also film tomorrow, but since we are now at this nice sign-off moment, I think, like, the sock is done. What better natural way to end this video? I am going to do so, of course. I'm going to give you some reveal shots of the sock number 3 and 4, but then I think tomorrow will be for next week's video. Anyway, if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, then maybe you could like, comment or subscribe, but of course that is all up to you. And don't forget, this Roll for Socktober thing is a collaboration, so check out this playlist where my friends also have uploaded their videos. And then I will see you in the next video. Bye!